Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the premiere episode of Fantasy Film Fights, the show where we take a random film topic and we draft that topic fantasy style. To my left is my co-host, Tony. Tony, say hi to the people.
Hi to the people.
And today we have some amazing guests on our show. First, I'd like to introduce Jacob. Jacob, to my
right.
Directions can be hard sometimes, especially with StreamYard. I've done that so many times. Do not feel too bad about yourself.
Well, as I said, first episode, there's going to be a little bump. There's going to be a few bumps in the road, some chinks in the armor, but we will persevere. And then we got down here, we got Thomas Scully. How you doing, Thomas?
I'm doing good. I'm very excited about this. It's sports, it's drafting, it's movies. It's like my three favorite things in the world. So I'm pumped for this.
All
I just want to quickly point out there, Thomas went for his usual yo thing, realized about all the gifts, and just went slowly back, just like, no, wait a second.
I'm just going to retract that.
Brian Michaels could be watching. I'm going to keep my hands to myself.
All right, and then directly below me, we've got Nick. Nick, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing great. Just to basically recycle what Scully said, this is a super awesome idea. I'm happy to be a part of it. I'm happy we're starting with sports, another big passion of mine. So I'm looking forward to it. Should be a good time.
Well, we figured with the Super Bowl coming up this weekend, it would be a good time to start. And plus, if you know sports movies, you're most likely to know the whole fantasy draft thing, and we can get this show going.
Heck yeah.
This on the premiere episode. And finally, last but not least, Amaru, how you doing, pal?
I am doing all right. Just got back from the dentist and ready to draft
Feeling good.
these movies. I'm ready.
Clean slate. Here we go. How we're going to decide draft order is Tony. You want to explain that one for us?
Yeah, absolutely. So to make sure everyone had a fair chance at this, we have got a random question that everyone's going to have a chance to answer, and then whoever gets closest to it gets to go first, second, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and as a reminder, it is a serpentine draft. So if you have the last pick in the first round, you've got the first pick in the second round.
Okay. Good to know.
As a special surprise for you folks, I'm playing today. I'm playing along with you guys. Me and him are needs to play this.
Sweet.
all right.
But Tony, give us our question.
Okay, so your question. Okay, from the entire series, how many minutes are in the Rocky franchise? So all 6 of the Rockies, Creed and Creed 2. How many minutes?
Ooh.
I was going to do seconds, but fuck doing maths.
And that's asking a little bit too much at this point.
Yeah, it'll be about 59,487 seconds exactly.
All right, I guess we'll
It's not that.
Everyone have a guess?
I'll give you a hint. It's more than 7.
I would hope so.
All right.
I guess we will go in a round robin fashion. We'll start with Jacob. Jacob, what'd you write down?
I'm gonna say 754.
754.
Oh, I was doing it by hours and then minutes, not
That's
completely.
fine. We can do math.
Okay. That's how I wrote my answer down too.
We can break it. It's fine.
I did minutes.
Go on then. What you got, Skull?
I said 960 minutes.
Oof.
Okay. Nick, what you got?
Yeah, Thomas and I on the same wavelength. I went 970 minutes.
Okay. Amaru?
I said, and I probably did math wrong, 8,920.
Okay, so going last will be Amaru.
Yes.
All right.
I wrote down 16 hours and 51 minutes, whatever that breaks down to, because I don't feel like doing math in my head right now.
Well, let's see.
So 16 times 60 is you're in the last.
Okay, great.
The math almost killed me on that one.
Yeah, I was like, I had to break it down, but
16 times 60. I'm getting there slowly but surely.
I know exactly what I did wrong in my math, so it's okay.
Oh, actually, no.
I think Scully's exactly 16 hours.
16 times 60 is 960.
Yeah, 960.
Yeah.
All right. So to be fair, all right. So what was your answer, Peggy, again?
16 hours, 51 minutes.
51. All right. So you have got do maths. 1,011.
All right then.
Wow, I know. Okay.
Okay, I've now got to do maths here quickly. So, so the closest. Damn you people not choosing exact numbers.
Oops.
But speak about yourself, so I'm doing this. It's fine.
Let's see. 970.
You know what the sad thing is?
Go ahead.
I'm a math teacher.
Okay, got it.
I added something that I didn't need to add.
All right, so the actual number for all the movies is 896 minutes.
Ooh.
So only one of them goes over 2 hours. So going first is going to be Scully with 64 minutes difference.
Okay.
And Nick is second with 74.
Okay.
Jacob is third, 142. Peggy is fourth with numbers. And Amaru.
I'm telling you, it was planned. It was planned. I'm good.
All right, now that we have that draft order,
Second. All right.
Thomas Scully, you are now officially on the clock with the first ever pick for Fantasy Film Fights. No pressure whatsoever.
Oh, what did we go with?
So when I went with my first overall pick, this is a movie that I not only love, but it also inspired me to pick my college major. It is the classic 2011 film, Moneyball.
Oh, shit, I forgot about
All
All right.
much you love that film.
Okay.
It is one of my favorite movies of all time. It explains the numbers behind baseball. It's a baseball movie for those who don't like baseball, pretty much.
Okay.
So, and even though I love baseball, I love watching like the sort of the behind the scenes stuff of how trades are made, free agents are dealt with, and how a team is run, especially a team like the Oakland A's, who had almost no money to work with, losing their top 3 free agents and winning 102 games the very next season.
Oh, man, that is a really great movie. I was hoping it would make it past, but I didn't think it would.
Yeah.
I didn't think it'd be picked 1 overall, but I understand why it was picked 1 overall. It's a great movie.
I don't think your dog is.
Background, 1 second.
Man, apparently he doesn't agree.
It's what's Aaron Sorkin's script, so it's always going to be pretty decent. Brad Pitt's probably his best performance of the decade.
It's yeah.
Arguably. Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That would.
Picked Air Bud.
And then obviously it was the film as well that kind of showed. Oh, John Hill, he doesn't just do comedy.
Yeah, Donut did his thing on that. Kind of let us know he's pretty good, and not just comedian.
Okay.
All right.
Moneyball. First off the board. Anybody else want to chime in on that movie, or should we move on to Nick's pick? Going good?
Take your time. You guys take your time.
No, go on. You're on the clock now, Nick.
Oh man.
And
Okay.
remember, Jacob, you are on deck.
What?
No, it's Nick.
You're on the
Oh,
clock.
he's on
so
deck.
I still have to
Sorry,
wait
no,
for
he said
you.
on deck.
Yeah.
Yep.
On that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I heard something completely different. I was just like, what type of show are we doing now?
All right.
Peggy, that's TMG After Dark.
No, I'm just thinking, are any of these movies going to be there when I pick again? Oh.
Just quickly answer. Is there a time
I
limit?
got it.
for
Yeah,
the
sorry.
possible picking?
I didn't ask.
About
but
90 seconds. So we're going to say, Nick, hurry the fuck up.
I got it. All right, I got it. I grew up on this movie because I grew up north, and everybody loves football up north, just like they do down in I say up north up in Indiana, Michigan, that area. And so this movie was iconic my entire childhood. I went with Rudy.
Rudy.
All right.
As a picture.
Thank you.
Never seen it.
Ooh,
I've seen Charles' Dutch. That's all I've seen.
yeah. Well,
This right here.
Yeah, Sean Astin, one of the his first adult roles, and just your typical underdog story, a kid who always wants to play at Notre Dame, and everything is thrown in front of him, and even a bully played by Vince Vaughn is in his way, and John Favreau's in it, like fantastic cast. And then just the music is absolutely iconic, which pushes it in the top 3.
Absolutely.
So,
Jerry Goldsmith, right?
yes. I'm going to look it up while you're doing that. But
Sure.
I'm pretty sure it is. That sounds right.
Yeah. Fun fact is that Jon Favreau and Vince Vaughn, they met on the set of that movie, and that gave us swingers.
Exactly. Okay.
Ooh.
Yep. Jared Goldsmith. Nice.
Yep.
Pool. But yes. Anyways.
All right. Second pick overall is Rudy. Excellent pick. Up next, Jacob with the number 3 pick overall.
Okay. Nick, I'm going to say that's an interesting pick. I'm really glad you didn't pick mine because I am going with another football movie that I pretty much grew up on, and that is Remember the Titans.
Yeah. It's like
That's the football movie.
Yeah.
That's mine as well.
Yeah.
I grew up in West Texas where high school football and funnily enough, marching band are both secondary religions. And so this is one movie that really spoke to me as a high school football movie, just something that I lived with. And then of course it is a fantastic story about dealing with racism and how a coach was able to handle that. Definitely one of the funniest scenes, or not the funniest scenes, but like one of the best scenes. They're getting on the bus to go to camp, and they just out of instinct, they do a white bus and a black bus, not even. And then the coach kicks them all out. He's like, "No, we're not doing that." You could really tell what he was doing. It's a great feel-good movie. Again, really surprised this didn't go number 1 overall. I'm really glad it didn't go number 1 overall, so I get to pick it now.
Yes, indeed you do.
That was my number 1.
This was my number 3. This was my number 3.
Yeah. I mean, it was a coin flip for me. Like I said, Rudy's a little bit more personal, but like Remember the Titans is right up there with it. No question.
And we all learned that Ryan Gosling is a liability at cornerback.
Yes, he's not very good.
Yes.
Not at all.
Well, I think it's an excellent pick, but I'm really pissed because I am up next, and I was going between that movie and another one, so you made it real easy on this one. I am going to go with A League of Their Own.
All right. Okay.
I think it's a nearly flawless movie. It's got all the different storylines you could hope for. It's got sisters. It's got coach to player. It's got. It's just fantastic. One of my favorite sports movies of all time, obviously, since I'm picking it number 1. Tom Hanks, phenomenal in that. It's probably my favorite Tom Hanks role of all time, and that's saying something because he's had some amazing performances. Always try to be like Gina Davis growing up. Always want to be Dottie Henson, even though I couldn't really. I played basketball and not baseball. But yeah, I'm going to go with A League of Their Own for my first pick.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, it's a good pick. It's definitely Madonna's best movie. Probably.
Are you telling me you don't like Who's That Girl?
I'm sorry, Vita is just not my jam. And also, probably you're looking at Penny Marshall's best work.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I would agree.
Absolutely.
It's either that or Big, so it's just like the Tom Hanks duet with her.
And I mean, one of the best manager breakdowns in baseball movie history is Tom Hanks just like, there's no crying in baseball.
Yes.
I thought
One of the best quotes in any sports movie too.
Pretty much, if you say that to anybody, they know exactly what it is.
Roger Schwartz is my manager. Yeah. Talking pile of pig shit.
Well, it's number 54 in the top 100 movie quotes from the AFI.
Only 54.
Wow.
Really?
That's
it is one of the most iconic quotes, and it's said ad nauseum. But that is my Amaru. You are the turn, so you get 2 picks back to back. What is your first?
All right. Remember the Titans League of Their Own. We're definitely up there. They not picked up before me, but there's one movie that a lot of people seem to overlook. And seeing I got 2 picks, my first one, Hoop Dreams. What a feat. All time best documentaries ever.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. I lived in Chicago for 5 years. Just talking about the 2 guys dreaming to go to the league and go in 90 minutes to go play basketball at St. Joseph's, and everything that documentary just talked about in terms of race and perseverance and all that. Hoop Dreams is one of the most underrated and forgotten about sports films ever. So that's number 1 for me.
It's a great movie.
It is.
A documentary. It's a great documentary. I agree.
Actually saw Ronnie Fields play in high school.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I feel like we need to disagree on one just because we're all like, oh, these are great. These are great.
Oh, they're coming. This is round one.
Just say, Hoop Dreams was the
That
second
comes later.
second documentary film to be nominated for the best editing.
Yep.
Right, and so it's a pretty decent one. So did it all right for itself. It's only like one of the most influential documentaries of the 90s.
Yeah. Maybe. All right.
It's kind of a big deal.
It's
Everybody
ever so
got it.
slightly.
All right. So then, Amaru, first pick, round two. What's
Well, actually, before we do that, let's just quickly bring up for people that are watching the first pick. So Thomas Scully went first with Moneyball, then Nick went with Rudy, Jacob with Remember the Titans, Peggy with A League of Their Own, and Amaru with Hoop Dreams. Amaru is back up for his first pick of the second round.
And this has got to be a movie that if you have not seen this, I don't know who you are. 'Cause you play ball like a girl, Sandlot.
Oh, dang it. Dang it. Oh, dang it. I was hoping that would drop. No.
Betty the Jet Rodriguez, and this is outside of Remember the Titans. Sandlot is one of the most nostalgic sports films of all time. One of the only there's a couple, but one of the only baseball movies that I'm really into. And James Earl Jones just telling him, you could have came over, right?
Tony, Sandlot is one word, not two.
It is. One word.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was just testing you, though. Well, then you have.
Before we cause any issues here.
But yeah, speaking of quotable movies, Sandlot is so quotable, like with the whole "You're killing me"
It's insane. Yeah.
forever.
You want s'mores? Anybody got s'mores?
Anybody?
No. I mean,
I'm the Great Bambino.
all that.
The who?
Classic.
The Great Bambino.
Oh, girl.
And I'm sure Wendy Peppercorn was like a coming of age moment for
Oh, well, obviously.
Yes.
And then I love the scene where they all eat chewing tobacco before they get on the.
Oh.
I mean,
Tequila.
yeah, that's the whole scene. I mean, it's just like it fits the movie perfectly. But anyways, yeah, all around wonderful movie. Absolutely.
it was a couple years, not even 2 seasons ago. I want to say Ben Zobrist of the Cubs rode his bike to the stadium wearing PF flyers. I mean,
No, and one team did that whole scene. Like they redid that whole scene.
Did they really?
I gotta find it. Yeah, no, I'll try to find it. Like,
Yeah.
like that whole where he hits it over the first time he hits it over the fence, or with the Babe Ruth ball. But I thought it was like the Yankees or somebody because Brian McCann was part of it. Anyway, sorry, I could go on.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I'll try to find that clip because it's hilarious because they reenact the whole scene.
Nerds.
Yep.
Not a problem at all, because I am the one who's next up on the clock, and I'm debating between 3 different movies right here because I really know the other 2 aren't going to get back around to me. But I think I'm going to have to stick with my original list, and we're going to stick with baseball here. I'm going Major League.
Oh man, all the baseball movies.
I was about to say,
Jeez.
Major League was a classic. It was always, I was growing up, another quotable movie, Wesley Snipes, Charlie Sheen, Tom Bergeron. I forget the name of the actor from the Allstate commercials who plays
Dennis Haysbert.
Serrano.
I do it myself.
We're gonna sacrifice a live chicken.
That and, why am I blinking on announcer Bob
Uecker.
Bob Uecker. Fantastic.
The man
Makes the
outside.
movie himself. But yeah, I'm going with Major League. Anybody else want to comment on that one?
Oh man.
I
Such a
actually
great movie.
watched Major League 2 more as a kid
Oh, really?
than Major League, and then went back and I was like, Major League is so much better.
Yeah.
I love Major League 3 though. Serrano is the only one in all. One of the only ones.
Yep.
I love that series.
Absolutely.
Back
So
to the
good.
minors.
Yes, back to the minors.
Man.
Hey, it's
Yeah,
Interesting.
hard to disagree with any of that. Like whole wild thing, Josh McCouga's original entrance music.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So,
I'll be honest, this is the only baseball film, apart from Moneyball, that's been mentioned that I love.
Oh, okay.
that's fair. All right.
Then I got one on the board for you there, Tony.
Yay!
Let's see. Jacob, you are up. What's your round 2 pick?
Yeah, I've been debating because literally 3 of the last 4 movies were the next ones on my list. So I'm going to go with the 1984 classic, The Karate Kid.
Man.
Just confirm you're not taking the Jackie Chan one.
That's why I clarified as the 1984 classic.
Yes.
It's funny, because the Jackie Chan one is on Netflix now. My coworker had it up on our TV at work, and I'm like, "Why are you watching this garbage?" Because compared to this one, it's not as good. But no, Ralph Macchio, Pat Morita, and Martin Love, all just great. And what it was able to do. Just the joke that they had in How I Met Your Mother of how Ralph Macchio is the actual bad guy in the movie, which is true because the Swan Kick is completely illegal, yet somehow he won on that. And then they came out with Cobra Kai afterwards. This is definitely the best Karate Kid movie of all of them. Come at me on that one. So that's why it's my pick.
All right.
Anybody want to throw in a comment there?
I like the Jaden and Jackie Chan version.
Tony, kick him off the call.
I do really like this movie. However, it's one of those movies that like my dad would always have it on when I was a kid, so I got pretty sick of it pretty quickly. It's still a really good movie, but like I personally wouldn't have picked it like in the first couple rounds, maybe in like round 4 or 5, but maybe not in the first couple rounds.
Yeah. Fair enough. Nick, your second.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. This might be a little surprising. It's hard to say, but I am
Ninja 4.
That's it. Brink. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you said it.
No. I am actually going with the great story of the 1980 USA hockey team miracle.
Yeah.
I was debating that one.
My number 2.
I mean, I'm glad I stole it from some people, snatched it out there. I mean, yeah, just I can watch this movie at any point. Like, I don't know, it's just very. I mean, Kurt Russell is absolutely brilliant in this movie. I mean, he plays that character perfectly, and just, I mean, the story itself is so like unrealistic. It was like the fact that it's a real, based on a true story is absolutely insane. But, and then, all these like ragtag guys that, they were just a bunch of college kids that didn't know each other, and he was able to whip them into shape, and they did such a good job of building up this unstoppable Russian team that like there's no way anybody was going to beat them. And I mean, just that last game was just so well shot and so intense, and so like just to the build up moment of the the quote from, oh my gosh, why am I? Huh?
Al Michaels.
Yeah, Al Michaels. But that build up to that point was just absolutely phenomenal. So just absolutely the best Disney. I think the best Disney sports movie that's ever been made. At least on the same level as Remember the Titans, but both of them being amazing movies.
I had this at number 2 on my list, below Moneyball, above Remember the Titans. I watch this movie whenever I am in like a super depressed phase, and it brings me back up instantly. This is one of my favorite movies ever. Sometimes I'll just skip to the end and watch like the last 30 minutes where it's just the actual game. Yeah. And it never fails to cheer me up. That's the thing. And Kurt Russell is like this is an award-worthy performance from him, in my opinion. He just he became Herb Brooks. It was insane. And the performances from all the young actors who played all the really young guys was great as well. But yeah, I'm really irritated that this was picked before my number, because I was going to pick a number one, but I realized Moneyball was the better value for a number one pick. And I was just hoping to God that Miracle would stay up until my next pick.
I know. I thought I'd make things interesting.
Tony, have you seen
I
it?
was literally debating between Miracle and Karate Kid for my pick.
Tony, have you seen it?
I remember watching it when it first came out and just being and not knowing anything about about ice hockey or really caring about Americans. I was like, no, it's fine.
I was trying to have somebody else not see it because I haven't seen it either.
Oh, Mara, you absolutely need to see
We got
it.
homework for
You're
you.
missing out. It is really
I
good.
got Disney Plus. I can watch it at some point.
Absolutely. Well,
Just
the thing I think is best about that movie, you know, going into it how the movie's going to end. Everyone knows the 80s, a little bit cocky, but leading up to as the clock is ticking down, you're sitting there on the edge of your seat. What's going to happen? And I cry every single time I watch that movie. That was one of the three I was debating on with my second pick. So that's an excellent choice, Nick. Scully, I'm sorry that I got picked.
It's all right. It's all right because there's another movie on.
Just before Scully goes, I just want to pull up a few comments from the chat. Nick Tuig talking about the Karate Kid from earlier. Miracle remake with Jaden Smith would be better.
Oh, yep. Oh, yeah.
Cool guy Kenneth Lee. Miracle doesn't qualify for a sport because not real sport.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Make sure that we believe that you're not actually Brooklyn.
Yeah,
Hey,
we know for sure. That confirms it right there.
That's Brooklyn who loves hockey, trying too hard to convince people he's not Brooklyn.
Sure. Could be
Yeah,
true.
Brooklyn still needs to pay me for unboxing
So
Monday.
opposite of Brooklyn, it could be Brooklyn.
And then last question, which is going to go into what Scully's going to next pick.
Yeah.
Who's going to pick there, bud?
So
Scully are officially.
I'm actually very surprised that this one was not picked earlier. It's another baseball movie. It's one that my dad and I actually bonded over as a kid. It is the classic Field of Dreams.
Yep. That was also.
This was one of the first movies, I think, to make me cry at the very end. Because at the core of it, like, you go throughout the movie, and at the end, you realize it's just a story about a guy who really misses his dad. He does all of this sort of to honor his dad, because everything from hearing the voices to traveling with Terrence Mann to picking up Archibald, I can't remember the guy's last name. Moonlight Graham. Moonlight Graham on the side of the road in Iowa. It was all for his dad. And at the very end, when he's like, "Dad, you want to have a catch?" I was done. I was completely broken inside. But yeah, this is a very inspiring movie. And if you don't know, you know now. The Yankees and the White Sox are going to be playing at the Field of Dreams in August 2020.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Gee.
When did Nick Tuhig become the cool guy? I mean, all these really trash takes from Tuhig tonight. I mean, come on.
The man
You're
who's
this
being
close to
swapped.
becoming Tony Healed. You're not
He's-
there yet,
hey.
but you're this close.
He is full troll mode right now. There is no question about that.
Right. But yeah, Field of Dreams probably is probably the best sports film from the 80s.
It's up there, for sure. And like James Earl Jones' speech about baseball with the one constant thing throughout the time, like throughout history, or not history,
Yep.
that's Smart the Time, and that whole speech is fantastic.
All right.
Tony, you want to give us a recap of round two, where we're at?
Yep. All right. So while Scully goes to decide for his third pick, let me take off that banner. All right. So Scully with the first pick overall went with Moneyball. Then Nick with Rudy. Jacob Remember Titans. Peggy League of Their Own and Hoop Dreams for Amaru. Then Amaru first pick of the second round went with The Sandlot. Peggy went with Major League. Jacob went with The Karate Kid. Nick went with Miracle, and Scully went with Field of Dreams.
Nicely done.
And now we'll wait for Mr. Thomas Scully's third pick.
So many good sports movies.
There are.
So many good ones.
Yeah. It's
It's
Just
gonna
quickly,
be tough around round five.
yeah.
we've
Exactly.
been saying how Kenneth's not the trolliest person. So
That's
football, curling, golf, and esports are the unreal sports. Andrew Barr in terms of Field of Dreams, slightly overrated. Good film, don't get me wrong, but would not make my list.
Okay. I mean, that's fair.
Fair enough. Fair
And
enough.
that's why you're not on the show. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Bar. Yeah.
But to kick off round 3, once Thomas gets all situated.
Yeah, sorry. I'm shifting settings and putting new ears in.
Yes. He has to do the whole Loyola Rambler plug
Right.
to let
Yeah.
everyone know that he's still in college.
Yeah,
Make sure it's there.
know that I am a young person.
Yep.
Go Northwest
Um,
Iowa. Is that the theme?
Okay, so damn, this is a tough one. I'm gonna stay on the older side a little bit for my next pick. This is another very inspiring movie. I'm shifting away from baseball to basketball this time. Inspiring story, much like Miracle, revolves around a coach. Trying to go back to his glory days a little bit. It's Hoosiers.
No, we're even now. We're even.
Yes, we're even now. What's gonna piss Carley off the most?
Oh, I'm just saying, like literally, we're even. That's 100% what I was going to take. Anyways, go ahead.
Hoosiers is one of my favorite basketball movies. You have Gene Hackman in, I think, one of his best performances. He plays an inspired high school basketball coach. Not only just being a coach, but being just a leader of young men, and how he lifts them up, during every hardship they have, and he starts seeing life through their eyes. The friendships he makes along the way. It's an inspiring film, a great movie all around. I'm again surprised that it has not been picked. Yeah,
That's yep.
Overrated.
Ouch.
Overrated.
Oh, okay.
That is why it hasn't been picked. It's kind of like Rudy for me. It's all right.
Oh, so Amaru's going to be the Caleb Coho of this one, where he's going to
Here's Caleb
pick all his movies are going to be from like the 21st century.
Well, instead of chanting over,
Maybe.
I think you could chant kind of dated. That's the only real complaint I can about it. Every basketball coach I had growing up did the whole measuring tape from the floor to the hoop, from the baseline to the free throw line. I don't know, but yeah, it's a classic. It's an excellent pick.
Also, another film done by Jerry Goldsmith.
Yes.
Hey.
Yep.
I'm-
Great music.
Jerry Goldsmith has done every sports movie. Fun fact.
I was about to say, it's like if you want the inspiring sport music, you just go Jerry Goldsmith and just go on, mate.
He's got that market cornered. All right, Nick. You're
Okay. Oh. All right. Well, I narrowed it down between two. Well, they're not boxing, but two. Well, anyways, in that same sort of sport, I'm going to go with good old Rocky.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not mad at you.
My first overall
Not the
pick.
Rocky movie I would have picked, but sure.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it did win Best Picture, but I mean, I don't know if it deserved it, but it did win.
Yeah. Against the movies it was up against that year, it really shouldn't have deserved.
No,
I was about to say, beat small
like I
taxi
said,
driver.
I agree it shouldn't have won, but I don't know. It just I love the series as a whole. I will say I've already picked, but I legitimately almost went Rocky 4 instead.
Oh, I would have kicked you off the call if you choose Rocky 4.
Yeah.
Just for the cheese factor, I love Rocky 4. But anyways, that's a whole other show. But no, I don't know. It just it established a really good story. You know, I like the comeback thing, and I thought Sylvester Stallone was very good in it, and you know, music's great, and like I don't know. It's just most boxing movies I love, and this is one of my favorites. So I figured it should go where it did.
I'm very surprised it dropped this far.
I
I thought it'd be round one.
For sure.
This would have been my first pick overall, 100%. It's such an amazing film. Like,
Yeah.
it's one of the best performances in cinema of Sylvester Stallone. Like, as Rocky, literally, you can't get any better. Plus, just like Apollo Creed is the best villain.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I mean, yeah. There's quite a few of those in the chat right now.
There's so many good sports movies. There's gonna be so many that we pick later down the line. We don't know how it didn't go.
Yeah, exactly.
But saying that, Jacob.
Aaron Brooks going after me. All right, I get it. I get it.
So I think right now is the perfect time for this pick because it's a great movie. Doesn't necessarily focus around sports, but it is still a sports movie. And if you don't think so, that's just your opinion, man. We go with The Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I had that same thing. Is it a sports movie? Is it not? But yeah. In our rules, it is.
Yeah.
See, I classify it there are two types of sports movies. There's movies that deal directly with sports, and there's movies where sports is a bit of a background piece. Big Lebowski falls into that latter category. So I didn't. So I personally didn't count it, so I didn't have it on my list. But it's still a great pick if we're doing a movie draft.
Yeah, same here.
The reason why I do consider it a sports movie because it does kind of center around bowling. That's the only reason those guys hang out together is because they are on a bowling team, and it is kind of a central focal point is the bowling match and John Turturro's. I really find his character very weird, but
He's Jesus.
John Turturro is just weird in general. I love him for that.
He's got his own movie now.
Yeah, Jesus has his own movie.
Anyways.
I'll be honest. I like every other Coen film more than Big Lebowski. I hate Big Lebowski.
That was a hot take for you.
Yeah, a little bit, but I get it.
Damn good. He's damn lucky he's on his own channel.
This is why I'm not allowed on your list.
This is his only safe space in this community for saying that.
It's still not safe.
All right, so my turn. Looks like I'm on the clock now. All right, well, let's stay in the realm of Rocky because I'm going with Creed.
Okay.
Here we go.
There we go.
All right.
Might be a bit of reach in some people's eyes, but I absolutely loved this movie when it came out. And I'm not even a big fan of the whole Rocky trilogy. Like, it's one of those things where they figured out a way to reboot it without having to have even seen the originals. I mean, you still get the gist of who Rocky is if you've never seen any of the 6 Rocky movies.
Yeah, that's fair.
Coogler, I am a huge fan of him. The cinematography in this movie is fantastic. That first match that he has, not the one where he's at the training camp in LA, but the first actual boxing match in Philly that he has, where it's just all one continuous shot, or at least it's edited that way. I thought it was phenomenal. One of my favorite sports movies that's come out in quite some time. I'm going with Creed. Anyway, you say?
I personally like Creed as much as the first Rocky, so I think this is a good choice. I think both they're very different movies, but I like them both the same. Creed's an awesome movie.
It was a first round pick for me.
Yeah. It's a good shot. No, it's a good movie. It was on my list near the bottom because I've only seen it once, so I can't really appreciate it as much as most others. But it like you said, it's extreme. And like someone said in the comments, it's extremely well shot. And like I said, that one, it is actually one continuous shot. I saw a background thing on it. But
wow.
So it is actually like he's just panning around the whole thing. But anyways, it is a great choice. Like it is not a bad movie by any means.
Also, the fact that Jordan did take an actual punch from Tony Bellew,
Yeah,
just get not sparked the fuck out.
It's true.
All right, Maru, your final pick of round 3.
there are a lot of good sports movies, and I'm liking that we have a lot of different a variety. I'm in between a couple, but I believe I got to go with one of my favorite basketball movies, White Man Can't Jump.
Yeah, that's on my list.
All right. Yeah.
White Man, Wesley and Woody and the half court shot. My favorite actual thing about that entire movie is Rosie Perez and the Q category in Jeopardy. That is one of the best scenes ever, and it's one of my earliest memories of seeing a movie in theaters. I'm going White Man Can't Jump.
Wesley and Woody is a combo I did not know I needed in my life until I saw that movie. Because god damn, that's a good combo right there.
Yeah.
Also, 2020, Wesley and Woody would just be amazing as well. If they just did a remake and just brought them back the exact same characters.
If they did a sequel to that.
Absolutely.
I'd be down
I would watch that. Yeah.
for sure.
Whew.
All right, we are through round 3, gentlemen.
All right, so let's quickly do a run through. So I'm not going to read up all of them. So just to confirm for this round, so Scully went first with Hoosiers, then Nick with Rocky.
Hoosiers?
Hoosiers. Sorry.
Who's your what?
As in, who's your daddy?
Right, Hoosiers. There's a band called Hoosiers, but it gets me confused. Nick went with Rocky. Jacob went with The Big Lebowski. Peggy went with Creed, and Amaru went with White Men Can't Jump. And let's see if we can get a film that isn't American this round.
Is what?
That isn't American.
I'm not gonna start it off. Peggy, you took Creed, and that cleared up my next pick, which I finally saw last night. Which
Damn it!
Senor, wait.
Whoa.
Let me see if you know what it is.
Whoa.
A favorite of Senor Ben Bateman. That is Warrior.
No.
Oh, I think we're going different.
Yes.
Oh,
Warrior.
I've
been hearing about this movie, and I watched it last night just for this. And Joel Edgerton and Tom Hardy look like they can be brothers, and they are absolutely amazing in this film. Like that last fight between the two of them, I had no idea who was gonna win until it happened. Nick Nolte just started to break my heart. And they made Kurt Angle Russian.
That was amazing.
How'd that work? I don't know, but Warrior is pretty damn amazing.
It's amazing. It is a great movie. I was hoping it would. I didn't think it would, but I was hoping it would stay.
Yeah.
But it's a great choice. Great choice.
Like this is the second film from Gavin O'Connor that's on the list after Miracle, and there was a weird patch of time when there was quite a few movies that were coming out pretty much the same style. So you had like The Fighter with Bale and stuff like that. Warrior blows it out the water completely. That's one of the best movies of the decade.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let alone sports films.
Oh yeah.
Also, Frank Grillo as well is fantastic in it.
Yes, he was.
He was
a skinny Frank Grillo,
which is scary.
Yes.
All right, so it is back to me. Let's see. I've got 2 baseball movies, a boxing movie. My favorite sport is football, and I'm going with a golf movie on this one, boys and girls. I'm going with Tin Cup.
No.
Nice.
Dang it.
Tin Cup. I was a big fan of any Kevin Costner sports movies. You really can't go wrong when Kevin Costner's cast in a sports movie. But this movie's fantastic. The whole "they'll remember you're 12." Unbelievable ending of the movie. But yeah, probably my favorite golf movie of all time. Actually, it is. So my 4th pick, I'm going with Tin Cup.
I was about to say, what other golf movies are there?
Oh, there are. I'm not going to say it. Just I don't want to give anyone hints, but there's.
Oh yes, there's that one.
Mm-hmm.
Tin Cup is a freaking fantastic movie. I mean, the chemistry between Costner and Rene Russo is fantastic in this movie. Everyone's gonna remember you're 12. I mean, that's an iconic sports movie moment. Personally, shows his perseverance in that role. So yeah, this is a solid pick.
Absolutely.
Sorry,
go ahead.
Oh no, it's like this is great. And I mean, the last where he's trying to make that shot at the end is just a wonderfully just on top of it, and it's got a bunch of great humor. Like it's also a great, it is a very, it centers around golf, but there's a lot of other stuff going on too. So it's a great movie. Really hard to disagree.
All right, I'm glad you guys agree with that pick. Jacob, you are up.
So, Peggy, you scared me a little bit when you said you're going to go with the golf movie, because my next pick is going to be a golf movie. And I was really hoping you wouldn't pick my answer, which thankfully you didn't. I'm going to go with the better golf movie, in my opinion,
and Happy Gilmore.
Oh,
That's not the one I thought you were going to pick. Do tell.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I love the
Because
choice.
the other one I was debating between these two. I just find Happy Gilmore to be a lot more entertaining. I am a big Adam Sandler fan. Spoiler alert, there might be another Adam Sandler movie that I am going to want to pick here in a later round, just because there was definitely a certain area in his life where he did have some good comedy. Unfortunately, he's not there anymore. Still has some good movies, but has a lot of trash movies. Happy Gilmore is however one of his best.
Yeah.
Well, it's
That
one
was
half
what
of his
that was
company.
what I was considering between that and
Ooh, no.
White Man Can't Jump. I got another movie I was considering too, but yeah, Happy Gilmore is one of his better ones. Go in your home. Don't you want to go in your home?
Suck my white ass, bro.
Wonderful performance by Carl Weathers.
Tap it in.
Wonderful.
Tappy.
Or you can do the fuck punk.
Uh,
Mr.
Ben's
Gilmore, you're kidding.
The Bob Barker scene still gives me fits every time I watch it.
The price is wrong, bitch.
Yeah. Sorry, and just like I said, Carl Weathers has a very understated role. I love his role in this movie.
And Shoot McGavin as well, just a perfect prick.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
And he's not even the worst villain in the movie because Ben Stiller's character
Ben Stiller,
is
horrible human being.
that's pretty much the inspiration for a movie that should be mentioned later.
The only thing about that movie that bugs me is the one scene where the guy's like, "Happy, the gold jacket's yours, shooter's gonna choke." I don't know why they put that little snippet in there. I think it was like a contest that someone won a walk-on roll or something. That's the only explanation I have in my head for that.
That just brings up so many childhood memories of like, why? Okay, but I've heard that line millions of times.
Yeah.
And you can count on me being in the parking lot later.
I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast.
Gross.
God, this guy eats pieces of shit for breakfast.
Oh man. Yeah, but no, great choice. Great choice.
That's a great choice. All right. I have a feeling that there might be a run on golf movies coming, much like a tight end run in the fantasy football draft. What's next? Let's go.
Oh, I thought about it. Since I'm not going to pick for a while. Or no, I'm going to pick in 2 picks.
Yep.
Or 3 picks. All right. I'm going to go with this one. Really great documentary about it's about auto racing, specifically F1. It's a movie called Senna.
Yes.
Tony, you made Tony very happy.
Yeah.
Oh, I love you.
It's one of the best sports documentaries I've ever seen. I'm sure he was a very, what was it he was in the 80s, I believe it was.
Yeah, 70s and 80s. He up until 2 years ago, he still had the record for the most wins.
Yeah. So, and he was just absolutely dominant, and he died. He died in a horrific accident during a race, and just his story of coming up from nothing, and like just very well shot, very well done. Like, and I think just another personal choice because I've really been on F1 racing kick as of late. So it's a very and it's a very entertaining documentary. A lot of original footage of his races, and it's very good stuff. I'd say it's definitely one of the better documentaries in the last 10 years, in my personal opinion.
Well, the guy that directed it, Asif Fantasty, I can never pronounce his name. He did pretty much a trilogy this decade of people that were like fantastic talents, just gone too soon. So he did Senna, Amy, and then I don't think anyone's going to choose it, Diego Maradona from last year.
It's on my list. I'll at least say that.
But yeah, so those three are just like some of the best documentaries you'll ever find.
Yeah. Anyways, it's a good movie.
Tony was telling me about that before we even started on air, because I asked him what his number one overall pick would be. He didn't participate. Well, he said Rocky, but he also mentioned he was big into sports documentaries, and he mentioned this one.
I swear I did not talk to him beforehand. I swear.
You're allowed to talk to him before. It's not like you're stealing anyone else's list. That's
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. So we're back to Thomas with the final pick in round 4.
Yep. And, I was really concerned when you guys went on a golf binge there because I was scared that this one was going to be chosen before I got to go. I'm all right. Caddyshack.
Yeah.
There we go. Waiting for it.
Hands down, one of my favorite comedies ever. I mean, just one of the most quotable movies of all time, in my opinion. I mean, even the really small lines like, "Oh, it's your honor," but just simple stuff like that, I piss my pants over. It's such a funny movie. All the eclectic characters like Ty Webb, Judge Smales, Carl Speckler. I mean, Bill Murray's monologue, him with the flowers, thinking he's at the Masters. I mean, that's the definition of comedy right there. It's beautiful. So yeah, Caddyshack.
Yeah, it's not really a one that you can really argue with. Why is he crying?
I can't say a word.
You hoping it got back around to you?
Oh, I maybe I was just being too blissful about it, but
Yeah.
it is my favorite comedy of all time, and it was literally a coin flip between these two films. And I should have stuck with Caddyshack because I figured less people knew about Senna, so I knew that one would come around. So, and I mean, absolutely phenomenal pick. I mean, I'm a big golf guy, and it's one of my dad's favorite films, so I watched it with him all the time. I can't really say much more than he already did.
Same with my dad. My dad showed me that film when I was 15. One of the first R-rated movies he ever allowed me to watch.
Yeah.
And I was in love with that movie.
Man.
I think we had this argument before on NBA Live. How
somebody thinks it's overrated.
Not only if I think it's overrated, I don't think Bill Murray's funny.
Hey.
Sacrilege.
So not only are you wrong, you're really wrong.
Okay.
Well, that concludes round 4. Tony.
All right, so to break down round 4, so Amaru went first and he picked up Warrior, then Peggy with Tin Cup, Jacob with Happy Gilmore, Nick with Senna, and Scully with his penultimate pick, Caddyshack.
All right. So we have come to the 5th and final round. Pick your movies carefully, gentlemen. It's the last one to complete your list. What are you picking for your final pick?
So I was between two here. It was between this and another movie I really love. But this movie I watched more as a kid. It has a high rewatchability factor. It's also a Disney movie, so you can find it on Disney Plus probably. It's a football movie. The story of bartender Vince Papale.
Okay.
Invincible.
That is a great.
This is a movie that is very slept on.
I love. Sorry, go ahead.
I run in the room hearing you play this game.
I'll be honest, I've never heard of it.
Yeah, this movie is so slept on. Mark Wahlberg has a great performance in this movie. Just the story of Vince trying out, and he doesn't think he has a chance. He just does it to impress all his buddies, the ones who were on strike with the union workers, his buddies who were veterans in the Vietnam War. He does it for his dad, and then all of a sudden he makes it. And then the relationship he has with Greg Kinnear's character, it's great. It's great. Everything about this movie is solid. It's super slept on. And if you haven't watched it and you have Disney Plus, go watch it. And yeah, Nick, I wore this jersey to psych people out. Make somebody pick it early.
Well, I can't argue with that pick. I love that movie, and I love Elizabeth Banks' character in that movie because I identify with her because I take a lot of flack for being a football fan and being a girl.
And even though this is a small part of the movie, like every time, like she has on a Giants shirt and she's like nagging her friends and her brother about the Eagles. That's like the definition of a friendly rivalry.
For sure. For sure. All right. So Invincible. That completes Thomas's team, which leads us to Nick, your final pick.
About 15 movies left on the list, and only one to pick. All right, I'm gonna go. Since my other golf pick didn't, I'm gonna have to go with this one. I'm gonna go with. Well, I'm not gonna write it out because it's too long. I'm gonna go with Legend of Bagger Vance.
I had that one written down.
So, I think that's. I mean, it's a really good performance from both Will Smith and Matt Damon. I mean, Charlize Theron's in it too. She does a good job, and it's also very similar to another movie I like called The Greatest Game Ever Played with Shia LaBeouf. That's also a great one. And but no, it's just a a guy that's basically unknown that just lives near the golf course that gets a chance to play against these titans of the game. And it's just very well shot, very good music. And being a big golf guy, it's high on my list more than other people. So I think it deserves to be on the list.
I'm not hating you on that one. The whole speech by Will Smith about he's in the field. He's in the field right now. I think about that all the time when I play golf. So.
Oh yeah.
All right. Anybody else want to come in? Legend of Bagger Vance. Going once, going twice. All right. Oh, Tony, would you?
It's fine. There's a better Will Smith one still out on the board.
I'll actually agree with Tony on this one. I think Bagger Vance is just meh. I'm not a huge fan of the movie. But
okay.
Yeah.
You're hungry? Okay, I'll get you something here in a second.
All right, Jacob, your final pick. The sports movie draft.
I was really hoping for 3 more picks because I have a lot more still on my board, but 3 that I'm like I have to have
At least
these.
3, yeah.
Yes, but I am going to go with a guilty pleasure of mine, and yes, this is my other Adam Sandler movie that I was talking about, the most quotable movie ever, The Waterboy.
Yes.
Fair enough.
That is a beautiful pick.
Yes.
This is an amazing pick.
I love this. I love this movie. Just the whole imagining your enemy on the face of something. It's something that I did a lot too because I grew up with this movie. I quote it so many times, whether it's the pretend, Captain Insano, show no mercy, just all the little things. The medulla oblongata. Yes. Well, once again, mom is wrong. Saying that to your mom is actually hilarious. But yeah, no. Personal pick of mine. I freaking love this movie. It's in my top 10 movies of all time. I cannot have a top sports movie without this on my list.
Very good. First film I ever saw with Henry Winkler in it. It was just like the adorable coach fatherly figure. It's just like so perfect. And of course, we saw a return of Mama from Waterboy when the Oscars got nominated.
Oh yeah, Kathy Bates.
Each other out.
That's right. That was cute.
And don't forget, water sucks.
It really, really sucks.
Water sucks.
Yeah. That's a hilarious movie. I mean, it's just in the heyday of Adam Sandler. It's fun. It's just got some really fun sports aspects to it. So I cannot argue with this being on somebody's list.
Yeah.
Did
I mean,
he
the
say
fact
Joe
that they have
Montana?
the Lee Corso, Kirk Herbstreit, all like the major college football analysts are in it, just makes it great.
Exactly.
I have to say that it probably doesn't even rate my top 10 Adam Sandler movies. Hot take on that one, but that's just me. Maybe I need to rewatch it. It's been a while.
Yeah, while I do like The Waterboy, I think there's another Adam Sandler sports movie that is better than it. But we'll see if it gets picked.
We'll see.
Two more picks.
Yep. I am on the clock, and considering football is my favorite movie, I cannot have a sports movie draft and not have a football movie on my list. I've got 3 in a row right here. I think I'm just like I said, I'm gonna have to stick with my list. I'm going with The Replacements.
Yes.
Adore The Replacements. If you haven't seen it, just turn on TBS. It'll be playing.
That is
That's
insanely correct.
Peggy. Yes.
I love it. It's the whole storyline with Keanu Reeves. The whole was it the Sugar Bowl that he played in that he had the horrible game?
Yeah.
Whole story with their scabs for the actual team. They're being too privileged. You got the cheerleaders on the side. You got storylines with that and the love interest there. And you've got Jon Favreau in that one. Gene Hackman. I mean, it's just a fantastic movie. Another quotable movie. One of my all-time favorites. I'm going with Replacements.
Okay.
Yes. I grew up on Replacements with Orlando Jones, Phase on Love. You made me very happy. Very, very happy.
Hit that.
I mean, it's good. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it just didn't hit me in the right way, but I mean, of course, the whole "that'll do, pig, that'll do." What did you call me? It had some good moments, but it was just it didn't really stick out to me that much. But I guess it's just me. But
It's fun.
I mean, I'd put it middle of the road. So
Yeah, it's a fine film from what I remember.
It's better than fine. It's really, really good. And again, you turn on TBS TNT, it's going to play. Yeah, the Washington Senators is the best football team in Washington right now, and that's a fact.
He's not wrong.
He isn't.
Yes.
He isn't.
nice.
All right.
Okay, we
All right.
move on.
All right. When I was like thinking about putting together this list, I wanted well-rounded. I wasn't necessarily gonna put all of my favorite sports movies, considering y'all probably would get it. So like movies that I'm surprised haven't been on, like Ali, Dodgeball, Jerry Maguire, He Got Game. I have one movie that is my underdog movie that it was between a couple of them, but this one I also kind of grew up on, and I'm gonna say it's Bring It On.
Hey! Oh wow! Did not see
Bring It
that,
On.
but it was on my list.
Yes, that is that. I have a couple other underdog movies, but Liza Dushku was a crush. She is very beautiful, but Gabrielle Union and what is the R&B group that backed up Gabrielle Union?
No, it's 702, isn't it?
702.
What's the Atlanta area code? 708, 702, whatever the
702. I just needed that to round out just everything else I had. Bring It On was great, and also it's Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd and Elijah Dushku in the same movie. Isn't Paul Rudd Kristen Dunst's brother?
Yeah.
In it. There we go.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's my final.
And Bring It On, that's Clueless.
No, yeah, it's
He's
close.
involved.
No, it's Jesse Bradford.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then I am thinking Clueless. I was wondering. Still, Bring It On is great.
Yeah,
Bring It
Kristen
On.
Dunst.
It's a good movie.
It's such a good film. Like, I have gone on record before saying, but I like it more than Godfather.
Yeah, let's bring that one back up, shall we?
Yeah.
I got a whole conversation about that one. I like to.
That's going to be a yikes for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was obviously the debut of Peyton Reed, who went on to do the Ant-Man series, the Breakup Down with Love.
Nice.
All right, well,
A nice way to end it.
That's a good one.
Tony, my man, can we get a recap of everyone's
Absolutely. Let's pull them up. All right, so we'll go down from team by team. So first up was Scully. So he went first overall pick with Moneyball, then Field of Dreams, then Hoosiers, then Caddyshack, and finally Invincible. Nick went with Rudy, Miracle, Rocky, Senna, and then broke his record of going one-word titles with the Lego Bag of Ants.
Almost did.
Jacob went with Remember the Titans, The Karate Kid, The Big Lebowski, Happy Gilmore, and The Waterboy. Peggy, you went with A League of Their Own, Major League, Creed, Tin Cup, and The Replacements. And Amaru went with Hoop Dreams, Sandlot, White Men Can't Jump, Warrior, and Bring It On.
There's some tough teams there, but we left a lot of good stuff on the board.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
One of the first things that come to my mind, Varsity Blues. No one named Varsity Blues? Even on anybody else's radar? Or is that just me?
No, that actually wasn't on mine. I mean, not that it's a bad film. It just like I said, there's so many. One of the main ones that I was surprised wasn't picked was He Got Game.
That's on my list. Again, I just didn't. I was like, I needed an underdog. He Got Game was really high up there.
Yeah.
One movie that I was torn between Invincible and another movie that I really love, and it's also super slept on, Cinderella Man.
Ooh, yes.
One of the best boxing movies ever. Russell, if you don't know what that is, that's Russell Crowe as a Great Depression era boxer. He retired from boxing before the Depression, and then when the Depression hits, he goes back to boxing to make money for his family. It is one of the best sports movies out there. If you haven't watched it, go out and watch it. Russell Crowe, Paul Giamatti, Renee Zellweger, solid cast, great movie, great message too, and really one of the best sort of period piece sports films we have out there. I was torn between that and Invincible, but I liked Invincible just a little bit more. Just a little bit more.
It's a solid choice for sure.
And also, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was saying I'm surprised also nobody picked Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, it's on my list. That's a good one.
There are so many. I mean, how did Raging Bull not get picked? I thought that was
And also, $1 Million Baby as well didn't get picked.
I feel a way about that movie. I don't know why.
Anybody like Blue Chips?
Blue Chips was on my list. It was on my list.
Little Giants.
Oh, Little Giants.
Little Giants.
Little Giants.
Yes.
Another
I love Icebox. I used to want Icebox.
Another one, The Big Green. If anyone's seen The Big Green, the soccer movie. Yeah.
Also, a baseball movie that I watched religiously as a child, Rookie of the Year.
That's a good one.
Rookie
of the Year.
Rookie of the Year is good.
And I personally like Rookie of the Year more than Major League. So that's my hot take. Gary Busey, Chet Steadman, one of the best baseball characters of all time.
Has any of y'all ever heard of Sunset Park?
I have not.
No.
The name sounds
basketball
familiar.
movie growing up. Danny DeVito's wife plays the coach. She coaches in inner city with Fredro Starr and the dude who plays in every basketball movie, including Coach Carter, even as a 40-year-old. Ball dude. His
the one from Fighting Forster?
Probably not the lead in Fighting Forster. Oh, he's in everything.
Mm-hmm.
Every basketball movie. And then Scully, since you wanted to mention me in this decade, one of my other picks, Necessary Roughness.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yes.
That was on my list. That was number 17 on my list.
All right.
Another great basketball movie, Coach Carter. Coach Carter is
I literally just watched Coach Carter yesterday.
Yeah.
That was very high up there too.
Yeah. Another basketball movie is Glory Road. Was on my list.
Oh, yes.
Just quickly, if you in any given Sunday.
Any given Sundays. I mean, that one's. It's just so over the top. It's.
Given Sunday is sports Twitter's favorite movie, and for me, it kind of diluted that movie. For me, it's a good movie. The speech is great. The rest of the movie is just fine.
I do not like Any Given Sunday at all.
This guy, Antoine Tanner.
Yeah.
And in every high school basketball movie.
Yeah. He was on One Tree Hill too.
All right, and then the one I want to mention first, real quick, before we finish, is a movie called Prefontaine.
That's a great movie.
That's a great movie. One of Jared Leto's first really, really good performances.
Didn't Tom Cruise produce or direct that one? I remember him talking about it back in the day.
He's not in the producer list.
I just remember him talking about Leto and just going on and on about Jared Leto and that performance.
Yeah, I mean, and just the creation of Nike. It's a really well done. That was very close as my 5 as well.
Yeah.
I really liked The Rookie.
Yeah,
With Dennis Quaid. That was one of my favorites. My only hockey movie I would have put on here, Mighty Ducks.
I mean, like this list could have been 10.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No question. Super easy, as we're all proving right now.
One more football movie that I think it's gained a lot of popularity recently. Draft Day. If you want like a Moneyball style football movie, Draft Day is really good. Draft Day is really good.
They could have lifted the whole love story with Jennifer Garner straight out of it. It was unnecessary. And I like movies with rom-com, like sports movies with like a love story. My favorite, but this one I felt was unnecessary.
Yeah, and critically it wasn't well received, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good interpretation of what goes on in a draft room.
Yeah,
I really liked that movie as well.
And I did not see the twist coming. Did you guys?
Where he gets all his picks back.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it coming.
I thought it was gonna I thought that movie was gonna go away where like he got the guy he wanted all along, but it still kind of blew up in his face, and it would be a really brutally honest sports movie.
I'd say he got
but they handled how it ended very well, I think.
Yeah.
And man, he got a hell of a pick as Black Panther for the first round. I mean, I'd say that's a pretty good pick.
It makes a pretty good linebacker, that's for sure.
One more, last one I got to do that I was between this and Bring It On is another one of my basketball movies going up. Love and Basketball.
Yeah.
Playing 101 for love. That's another one that I was like, which way do I go?
The one movie I had on my list that I don't think anybody else had. There was a movie back in 2011. I was still playing lacrosse back then. It was a movie my dad took me to see.
Of course, you played lacrosse.
She was my lacrosse coach back then. Crooked Arrows. If anybody's ever heard of it. It's actually dives into the Native American roots of lacrosse. It's about a lacrosse coach played by Brandon Routh, who he takes over this. He takes over this sort of ragtag group of Native American lacrosse players and helps them win a championship against the team that he played for in high school. And there's a whole backstory like, oh, he blew the big game in high school as part of that rival team. Now he's trying to beat that team who's now really good again.
Nice.
So it's a good movie. It's kind of slow. But if you want to know a lot about like the historical origins of lacrosse, it's a good lesson on how lacrosse was made.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to mention, I'm pretty sure this is the Adam Sandler movie that everyone was mentioning earlier instead of Happy Gilmore. Is everyone thinking about The Longest Yard? Was that what everyone was thinking?
The 2005 Longest Yard is funny as hell. There are some bad moments, but there's some moments in there that are just so funny.
It's pretty good.
To be fair, the original as well still stands up.
It's Brucey time. It's Brucey time.
Another one that I have that not a lot of people know of, and it's upsetting because it's fantastic. Shaolin Soccer. Soccer meets Kung Fu. Yeah, I saw Jonathan mention that. It's another guilty pleasure of mine. Watch it a couple times in English and then watch it in Cantonese. Makes it like so much better.
Nice. Well, speaking of soccer as well, obviously you have the Damn United, the story of Leeds United Football Club. It's Tom Hooper's big direct thing before he did King's Speech and then ruined his career with Cats. And also the greatest sports film of all time, the movie that started Keira Knightley's career, Bend It Like Beckham.
That was on my list, number 20.
I really enjoyed that movie. I do enjoy that movie, honestly. Although, can Cats be considered a sports movie because it has hairballs?
Yeah.
No.
One movie I was surprised that didn't get a mention, Days of Thunder.
It's on my list. It is on my list.
I love
top
that
20 for sure.
Bull Durham. No one mentioned Bull Durham.
Bull Durham. The Natural.
Yeah, I mean,
one of my friends would kill me if I don't mention Cool Runnings.
I was about to say,
yes.
Fill the rhythm, fill the rhyme.
Tinka, you dead?
It's bobsled time.
One movie, also another Disney sports movie that is super slept on. Dennis Quaid's The Rookie.
Oh,
I mentioned that earlier. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, he snuck it in there when we were talking about other stuff. But yeah, that's a great movie.
The Rookie is also another sports movie that made me tear up a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Got a lot of heartwarming moments.
Oh, for sure.
All right, what we'll do, we'll go one last round. This isn't going to count, but if you had chance to pick one film that someone else picked, so I'll pull the sheet.
Okay.
One that somebody else picked. Okay.
One by somebody else.
I already have mine.
Yeah, I have mine too.
All right, so
can I pick like 20 of them?
Right.
Yes.
I'll go first and let's go down the line. I'm definitely going Remember the Titans. I was hoping it was going to fall to me. Jacob had to take it one pick before me. I love that movie. It's fantastic.
So since I'm next, I'll just do the whole swap. I would have taken A League of Their Own.
Nice.
All right.
Tony, or Thomas, excuse me.
Me? Oh, Miracle, hands down. Miracle. It's the movie that cures depression for me. I mean, it's one of the most inspiring films of all time, in my opinion. So I would totally take Miracle in a heartbeat.
Yep. And then on that same beat, I would take Caddyshack, no question. Like I said, if I like in kind of in the same boat, if I'm having a rough day and I want to feel, if I want to laugh my head off, I'm going to watch Caddyshack. It gets me every time.
And Amaru.
The rest of y'all picked the ones I would have said I had A League of Their Own, but Peggy, The Replacements.
Hey!
It's The Replacements. I remember where I was when I saw that movie. I love it. So, felt that one.
All right. Well, yeah, gentlemen, thank you all for an amazing premiere episode. Hopefully, we'll get a little bit more we could have gone 10 rounds with this, but I don't want to keep you guys here for 2
Oh,
days.
sure, of course.
Right.
No problem.
Yeah. So what's going to happen is that on the Feature Presentation Trivia League page, I probably should change that name now. There's going to be a poll with all the options. So go vote for who did the best, and then this time next week when we do next episode, we'll reveal who wins.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And next week is for the Oscars, the Best Picture winners of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And the week after that, we have got Best Movies to Watch When Hungover.
Perfect.
If The Hangover doesn't go first overall, somebody's doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Then the week after that is movie villains.
Yeah.
Ooh, that'll be a good one.
That's a nice one.
To round out the month of February, we're doing movies with 3-word titles.
There we are.
Anything with a 3-word title.
Okay.
That.
So if anyone's interested in any of them, please either comment in the chat now or send me or Peggy a DM, and we'll make sure to put a note down for it. And so I know a few of you do other things over where. Do you guys want to plug anything?
Highway.
I'll plug our stuff, Tony.
I was about to say.
I got a couple. I have my
go.
channel reviews. I've been sick for a month, and I finally got my Bad Boys review out. In addition, on Instagram, I do. I'm part of a group of guys and girls who do bite-sized reviews for movies. It's on IG called Bite-Sized Reviews, and if you're looking for really small chunks with personal opinions on different movies, look for @Bite-Sized Reviews. For my YouTube channel, @RUVIEWS.
Nice.
It'll be in the description. So I'll add it after. And then Nick, do you have anything to plug?
Nope. I mean, I do a little bit of everything, so I'm sure you'll see me around at some point.
Fair enough.
I mean, yeah, Tony, I'll plug our stuff.
Thank you.
NBA Live every Friday, 4 Eastern. I don't want to do the math, so whatever time zone is 4 Eastern for you guys, that's when you tune in.
Google it.
We also do Schmo Center. The Schmo Season 7 is coming up, so we're going to be breaking down matches as they come out, starting, I guess, whenever the matches come out, whether it's next week or the week after. We already have a live recap we did on Saturday after the New York Live event. So if you haven't checked that out, go out and check out our thoughts on both matches, plus the matches coming up. Further back, we also did a live reaction to the draft where almost all of us lost our shit. I lost my shit in the middle of an airport, which was interesting. So go check that out. But yeah, so we have a lot of fun over there. Check us out at MBE Live. Yeah, New British Empire. That's what it stands for.
Facebook.com/New British Empire. Jacob, do you have anything? Or
Okay, now it's my turn. You can check me out at TMG Entertainment, everyone's favorite or second favorite debate league, however you do numbers. I co-run the late TV fight, so if that's something you're interested in, hook me up or let me know. I will hook you up. And then also, I am question writing for our current Star Wars trivia exhibition tournament that we're doing. Only watch the redemption match that we did last night and then the championship match that we're doing later this week because I wrote those questions and I think they're outstanding. Everything else I didn't do, so I can't say that was great or bad because I have no real opinion.
everything else sucks that you don't write personally. All right, Peggy.
I really don't have much to plug. You'll see me pop up on matches sporadically here and there, I presume. But you will find me here every Wednesday being co-host on this show with Tony. If I can figure out which way to point.
I'm here.
I'll get better at this as time goes on. I promise you that.
Don't worry, we all will. Yeah, and for here after the feature presentation, please follow. Mondays we do Unbox, which is the interview show. We had Kenneth Lee. He actually was on for an hour. I don't know how Brooklyn was able to pay him for an hour's work, but it was awesome. NBA Live Fridays, Scully said, the rookie round robin. There we are. I fucking remember it now. Thursday we have Peggy's match against Aaron J, and then Saturday is Amaru versus Kevin Past. Then Sunday is back to our regular team matches because I just can't get enough of being on screen.
Clearly.
Yeah, so
You have a problem.
I do.
Gentlemen,
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you guys so much for joining on this. I really appreciate
Thank
it.
you for putting us together.
It was a blast. I had a great time.
Yes.
Good. And keep your eyes peeled because we've got tons of different topics coming up. We're going to get crazy with some of them, try to get creative with some of them. It'll be a good time. Hope to see you guys on episodes.
Absolutely.
All right, sounds good.
And so for Sam, Nick, Amaru, Jacob, Tony, and myself, good night, guys. See you next week.
Bye.